We are totally professional.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm live. We're live
There we
now
go.
on the podcast. I'm Zombie Andre, one of your hosts, with my co-host Spartan.
Hi everyone. Sorry for the chat beforehand if you heard me.
It's all good. We're still learning. It's
couldn't
different,
tell.
especially since we're back on to this.
No, I couldn't tell if you were actually going because you said, "Yeah, no, we're going." And you went quiet for like.
Yeah, I was doing a
20
little. I was
seconds.
making sure everything was going while I had the stream running. Oh, Silent gave me a follow. Thank you, Silent. That was like from 6 months ago.
Wow.
Thank you.
Dang.
Thank you.
Check out that simp.
What a sip.
Actually, we're getting in trouble. I'm pretty sure that's a banned word on Twitch.
Oh shoot. Well, we're on YouTube actually.
Oh, then we don't care. I didn't know if we're doing it on YouTube.
But hello guys, we're back. I'm here with my co-host Spartan. We are going to be talking about the May 4th Tales of the Empire 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we decided to do in one episode because the 6 episodes, they're roughly around 15 minutes long each one. 2 different stories. It's damn it.
Morgan Elsbeth.
And Barith
Barris Offie.
Offie. So those are 2 characters. So which one would you want to tackle first? Because I think one of them we both agree we liked, and then the other one we're like kind of not good.
I'm gonna go in the order of how they premiered. All right.
Okay.
So
Sounds
to
favorable.
start, episodes 1, 2, and 3 feature Morgan Elsbeth. Folks, in case you couldn't tell by your stalling, she's the one we liked. she was the one that we were definitely a fan of. Because I guess her story's still new to all of us, you know. I'm bringing up the episodes right now so I can like kind of have a little reminder.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, no, dude, I definitely think she has probably the better storyline of these 2 so far. Especially because, dude, episode 1 we got Grievous. Ha. And I do love that through most of the time, through all of Star Wars, in Clone Wars, and in the movies, we had Grievous, and he was always running away. I think we had one instance when he wasn't running away, and that was the last time he invaded Dathomir in the Clone Wars series. Now to be doing it again in this series, it just felt good. Like, Grievous felt like the warmonger he absolutely like looks like, you know.
Yeah.
And slaughtered her mother, you know, decimated a lot of her people, and it was just great. Now I will say, biggest change for episode 1, and like it was the biggest surprise for me, the Mountain Tribe.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
the Mountain Tribe that was on
On Dathomir.
yeah, Dathomir. Do we even know there was even
No.
another clan that was on there? All we knew was the clan of the technically witches or
Well, okay,
sorcerers.
so the way I understand it was, or how I think it was beforehand, is you had the Night Sisters faction on the planet, who are essentially all of the women of the species. Which, mind you, I think there's actually 2 different species, but I'm just using that term, you know,
Yeah.
for ease of use. But anyway, which they're all women. They're all women for the Night Sister clan. And then all of the men, something that we got from the Clone Wars series, is actually like a few days away. And like they have their own settlement, and they're their own thing. The Dathomiri men, which is like, you know, Savage and Maul's race of people. which I think that's still awesome from way back when. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is actually our first instance, even throughout the games, even like in Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, that they reference that there was more clans on the planet. You know, I don't think Marin ever really talked about the Mountain Tribe, if she even knew. I don't think there were any lore entries. I could be mistaken. There's a lot of lore I don't look at in video games, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first mention, and I loved it. I think they're awesome. I want to see more of them.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, they were really interesting. Sadly, their kind of story was short for what they were, because they kind of just were there with Morgan, to kind of like, well, I guess what you call her is like the shaman of the clan is what you would call her.
Yeah.
That's what I call her. Okay, yeah. So the shaman pretty much, she kind of is like, you're going down a path, don't do it, and she kind of did. Oh, one thing about that episode before I go, the one thing that very much impressed me about that episode was
impressed or depressed?
Impressed.
Okay.
When Morgan when she like lost her clan and whatever, she reached down and grabbed that dirt. That was some pretty high quality dirt. That was an animation.
I don't know if I remember that scene specifically.
I do. It was really detailed. I'm like, holy crap! Like that looks really good for dirt.
You know what that dude? That just reminds me of. I don't know if you remember the memes from when Incredibles 2 was coming out. You remember the memes from that?
Maybe you'll have to remind me.
So when the trailer shows, and in the trailer you see Bob, Mr. Incredible, holding Jack. And in the trailer, he's holding Jack like, oh my god, my baby. And then the baby goes through like 7 different powers while in his hands. Mind you, it's the family's first time realizing they have power, or he has powers. They thought he was normal. And so that moment in the trailer when he is holding the child, someone like zoomed in, and like you can actually zoom in and see the full definition texture of Bob's sweater. Like there's loose threads, like you can see the pattern. Hell, I think there's even a point where you can see the skin through the threads of the shirt. And it's like, god damn, that's a lot of animation to go through. And the whole meme itself was, folks, no one's going home until I can see this man's fuzz. And again, it's just all the like loose lint hanging off the sweater. So I'm not surprised, like, animation's gotten great. And just the lighting, dude, the lighting for the series looks so good.
It looked pretty damn good.
Not to get into, like, personal stuff, but, Andre, you're aware I set up my 50-inch TV.
Yeah.
With Dolby Vision. And, while I was waiting on stuff to happen after that, that's when I actually like watched the series. So dude, watching it on that 50-inch, like,
it's something
I don't
else.
know what to give. I don't know what to give it, like, give props. If like, damn, this is good TV, or damn, this is a good show, or not good show, but good animation. You know.
I think just the first episode was really animated very well. To be honest.
Oh yeah. Dude, the thumbnail for the first episode. The only thing it's missing is him holding the blue. Like, I don't know if you're looking at it or what, but it's just General Grievous, and on the right side of the photo is the green lightsaber, so his armor is completely illuminated in green.
Yeah.
Man, if it just had a blue lightsaber on the left and had like the double lighting on it, oh my god! Like this image looks fantastic. This is just the image. This is the thumbnail, and I'm just like,
It does look pretty damn good. I'll give it that. But yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
But yeah, so first episode, pretty much, Pretty good. It was a good setup. It really invested me into this Morgan story, and her other two were very good. It kind of, how do I want to do this? Because like, can I say spoiler? Because it has been technically a week.
I mean,
it's been over 2 weeks. Well, roughly about 2 weeks.
No, it's not. It's been a little over a week.
It will be. Yeah, it's almost been about
10 days.
Almost about 10 days.
9 days.
So spoilers. I'm just gonna say it. Pretty much. We're gonna talk about it, but still, just go see it. They're not really that long if you guys really want to see without it being spoiled to you. But if you, it's been already spoiled a lot, different places already. But spoiler, pretty much. Pretty much it kind of shows Morgan how she pretty much is in that town back in the Mandalorian when Ahsoka comes and frees the people and takes Morgan out, or takes her away from that town. That pretty much it's kind of like the lead up to how she became part of that town, what happened to that town, all that kind of good stuff.
It was a really great setup because, I mean, I think definitely, okay, with the Mandalorian series and where she got introduced in that in season 2, episode 5,
I think
6,
something like that.
No, it's 5. Well, because I know 6 was Boba's episode.
Boba.
But I think it's episode 5.
Yeah.
In that episode, I don't think anyone could actually tell that she's Dathomiri. Like, I don't know anyone that called out or broke down or did anything to mention that she was Dathomiri. And I mean, the episode definitely doesn't even tell you that. I don't think it was until the Ahsoka series came out when she told the audience she's Dathomiri. Like,
yeah.
Like she told Balon, I think that's his name. I keep always forgetting.
I think it's Balon.
Yeah. Always telling him.
Balon.
That, I think Balin, but you know.
So yeah, I know.
Anyway, but that's when we got to tell that she's Dathomiri. So ever since then, we've always wondered, like, okay, so how was she affected by this? So I think it's a great start point for her, just in general. From the siege of Dathomir, when everyone thought, why was she not there? How did she live? Ventress isn't the only one. Marin isn't the only one. A really unfortunate trope that Star Wars has copied with the Jedi, even, where it's like, damn, look at this giant event where they kill every single Jedi, but that one lived, and that one lived, and that one lived,
and that one's alive,
and that one, yeah, and that one lived.
Yeah.
Which I got a whole point to make later when we get to Barris's thing.
So they said they wiped out a lot of the Jedi. Apparently not.
Well, not that, but with the Night Sisters again, it's like Ventress is the sole survivor. Avenge us, Night Sister. Okay, then you got Jedi Fallen Order, Marin. You know, where she actually lives more traditional Night Sister life, which I think that's a good reflection of the two. You know, you have Ventress, who is like the rage, and then you have Marin, who's much more the traditional, the culture, if you will.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where Morgan rolls in other than just being an asshole. You know, she's Imperial, she's on her own agenda.
Of course.
And all these things. But again, it was a great thing from the Siege of Dathomir to exactly pretty much where we left off in Mandalorian. Or, well, where she was introduced for the first time as a character.
Yeah.
So, it's a really good point 1, point 2. But hey, on with the second episode, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, my head was in various places watching the series.
You're admiring the TV.
Well, that, and of course I have...
Which I've been there. I've been there.
At the time. So there's a lot of, like, the key notes of the conversation between her and Thrawn, and her and the townsfolk that kind of went over my head. Like, from her settling down in this town to her becoming, like, I don't know, magistrate of the town. I believe is the title. I don't know. But so the whole Thrawn episode unfortunately did kind of skip by me a little bit, because at the end of the day, all I really needed from the episode was to know that Morgan's faith in Thrawn wasn't just random. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I understand it was funded. I understand it was approved. I understand they've had contact, and, like, their relationship, even in the Ahsoka series, is way better than for some random Night Sister to randomly want to hunt down Thrawn, you know?
Yes.
And I think the episode served that, even just knowing it exists. Because I honestly, folks, I can't remember most of it. Other than seeing Rook. Dude, I was so happy to see Rook. Actually, I might need to do a double take on that. No, it was out. Because, you know, I know she was approached by an Imperial officer, like, promising her more assistance if she could prove herself, and then she fought Rook, which is Thrawn's bodyguard in the Rebel series. Or not bodyguard, I shouldn't say bodyguard. He's a mercenary hired in the Rebel series. So yeah.
Yeah.
I thought a lot of those elements were fun.
They were really fun.
More about it?
Second episode.
Anything you want to bring up that's like,
I'm trying to think. Second episode, the only things, I'm trying to think. Things that were very interesting were, so she technically came up with, in the, she was the one that came up with the what is that? It's the Imperial TIE fighter. It's the specific it's that interesting one. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
She did not come up with it, if I remember correctly. I know what you're talking about now. I remember this part of the episode now.
Yes. She was the one that kind of...
TIE Defender.
Yeah.
The project was... I think what they were alluding to is in Star Wars Rebels, there's an entire plot arc around this new type of TIE fighter, the TIE Defender. It's got 3 wings. It has its own shield array, which, mind you, most ships do not have their own shield arrays, like any of the X-Wings, Y-Wings, so on. They don't have shields.
Yes.
Also, these ships have their own hyperdrive, so these are ships that do not require an entire battle cruiser to come on in, drop, and deploy them, and for them to return, reboard, and then depart. This is dip in, dip out at the size of a fighter. Like, that's powerful as hell. I know they can carry, like, proton bombs, so they have their own, like, heavy artillery. Yeah. And they've got 3 like gun arrays, 1 on each wingtip, or 2 on each wingtip, I should say.
Yeah.
And so, like, they are crazy good, like, ships, period. And I think what they were trying to explain was, we saw its prototype, its launch, and its creation in the Star Wars Rebel series. Now, I do not think I don't think Episode 2 happens after Rebels, obviously not, for how Rebels ends. But I do think Episode 2 probably takes place between Seasons 3 and 4. Like, in the kind of gray area where there's time jumps and all between the 2 seasons.
Yes. Because
the officer was alluding to, and Morgan even had to explain herself, that these blueprints were, I believe, mined. Like, she found these blueprints, but she made her own improvements. And that's what caught Thrawn's attention. That's what caught the Imperial officer's attention. Like, it's people with that kind of attention to detail that kind of uh, ambition that the Empire really wanted. You know, like she saw the flaws in the design and she fixed them. Not only did she fix them, she was trying to sell them off as better.
Yes.
And you know, so I don't believe she was the original creator. At least that's not how I took it from the episode. But it's still a huge feat for both her sake and the Empire's sake.
Yes.
It is kind of sad though that the TIE Defender never got to see the light of day, really. Because, like, dude, looking back on it, that's a scary fucking vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Which there's a whole plot point surrounded around that as to why the TIE Defender's not made. It's a huge spoiler point in Star Wars Rebels, so I will stay away from that. But yeah, no, it was great. Again, fun episode. Give us what we need. Morgan's part of the Empire. She's doing her own thing, but she's part of the Empire. You know. And then any other notes on that one?
No. I guess the only thing is that she technically was tested by, she was tested by, I can't remember people's names right now.
Give me your mic. What are you talking about? You're talking about the officer, I don't know the officer, but Thrawn.
Pellington, or not Pellington, fuck, I can't remember his name.
Huh?
I need to
That
look
might
at
be
these
the
names.
guy's name. Are you talking about the officer?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it was. So he is, damn it, let me look it up. I need to look it up. I'm gonna forget.
Okay, no offense. Andre, was that what I think it is?
Yeah, it's the link for the stream.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to hold off on that for the time being.
I gotta.
I appreciate it. I'll hold off.
I gotta find.
Here, I'll watch the episode and see if I can't come through and find it. Because I'm here on Disney Plus, so I've got it up.
Okay. I'm trying to find the cast. So I can. Because, there were some cool things about it. Because,
Okay, which officer are you talking about? The one in the
it's
council
Grand.
room? Or the
Yeah,
one that she actually talks to?
The one that she talks to, Grand Admiral Thrawn's technically officer, who was sent to the meeting.
Okay. So the one who actually shows up on the planet, not the one who's at the pitch meeting for the TIE Defender. Actually, they might be the same. I don't know.
Where is he?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of someone entirely different in this episode. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, because he's technically the officer that worked with Skywalker and Skywalker. So he very much becomes
Wait, is that supposed to be Lauren?
I thought it was
Admiral Yularen?
was it Admiral? Oh, maybe I'm getting it wrong.
Oh, Admiral Yularen, he was a renowned he was a renowned like Republic admiral. And mind you, folks, again, I don't know all the Star Wars details. I'm just
gonna
like
have to look it up
all
now.
from memory. Admiral Yularen, he was a supporting character in Clone Wars, if you want to say that. He was the leader of the fleet commanded by Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Like he was the actual like onboard admiral. Admiral Yularen helped out in many cases. He would come to the rescue of plenty of different operatives throughout the galaxy. In fact, Admiral Yularen even makes a cameo in the game I always love to reference, Republic Commando. And there's a few other admirals in that, actually. But Yularen, he bears through the entirety of the Clone Wars. When Order 66 happens, he is happy to join the Empire as he idolizes the structure of the Imperial like command than the one of the Republic, because the Republic just was flawed.
I think that is him. It looks like him.
It does look a lot like him. I just never got that was him. You know, it doesn't sound like him either. Which I know the voice actor's dead. But it doesn't...
Maybe it isn't him then.
it doesn't strike me as him. Like he has a much more
Why does
definitive.
maybe
presence.
Pelion? Because I think that's his name, isn't it?
Pelion sounds about right, but
Okay, then that's just someone from the books. Then I'll have to say then maybe that's where I'm getting it from. Because I've read
that could be a character. That could be a character in this. You know.
let's see.
First time introduction, works for Thrawn, character from the books. Why not use him?
Wrong.
Unfortunately, the subtitles do not name the characters. They just, actually have who voices, or not who voices, but just like what they say. So, no, unfortunately, I have no idea. And I'm just combing. I'm not gonna watch the whole episode.
I wouldn't. Let me see. I'm looking it up. Yeah. He served a task force. So he worked with Thrawn.
Is that Pelion?
Yeah, Pelion. Gilad Pelion. Was he part of? What did he do for? Yeah, because I think I'm thinking of him because I'm like it sounds so familiar. I'm like this character sounds so familiar, and I was thinking it was from the Clone Wars, but no, I think it's because I'm reading the books. Because that in the original Thrawn trilogy, Gillian Pelion.
Pelion.
And the funny thing is I don't know if 100% because Gilad Pelion. The thing is he also in the books. I don't know. I would have to actually. I don't think they said anything in the movies or in the show, but he technically worked with Darth Vader. He was the grad
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. So because he mentions multiple times when he's working with the Grad Admiral Thrawn that he's a lot different than who he used to work with, which was Darth Vader, which he would just get pissed off and murder and be like, "You let me down" and stuff. Grad Admiral was more.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you say that line, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, no, yes, it is Pelion.
Yeah.
I look him up, or looked up who the officer is in that specific episode. Yes, it's him.
Yeah. So that's interesting. He doesn't say anything. So I'm wondering if we'll probably. I'm assuming we'll probably. Well, actually, was he even in Ahsoka?
Not that I can.
I don't think he was either. But you think about it, they were probably stuck in that in the other galaxy.
I don't think he was there.
Okay.
Because honestly, I'm pretty sure he actually does have an appearance in the original movies. I want to say he's actually one of the admirals from that meeting where Darth Vader chokes out one of them.
I would believe it. Well,
I'm pretty sure he's there. I know Yularen is there, the guy I'm talking about. And Yularen, by the way...
Well, actually, no, that wouldn't make sense. Never mind. Let me take that back. Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
Like I said, I think he does work for Thrawn. I don't doubt that. I just don't think he was with Thrawn when he got taken.
Yeah,
I think
I'm assuming he
probably on his own carrier.
Yeah, and then Thrawn's like, "Hey, I'm doing this," and he's there. Yeah. Note and references. The spies.
Also, so Yularen, the guy I was talking about, he's actually had a few key moments in a bunch of series and shows.
I actually I just found it actually where it states it. It says his character originally appears in the 1991 Star Wars Legends novel Heir to the Empire. That's where I'm getting it from. Okay, there we go.
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, it's a character from Legends. Why wouldn't they try and use him again?
Yeah.
But no, Yularen, he's from the Clone Wars. You actually, I believe, see him for the first time. Oh, okay, I know he's in the movies too. Don't get me wrong. He's in Episode 2, I believe, and I believe he's in Episode 5? No, 4?
Is he?
4. Pretty sure. Yularen, not Pelion.
Oh, Yularen. Oh, yeah. Apparently, Pelion was actually in The Mandalorian.
Oh?
It says let me read this. So Filoni says he describes bringing back the legend characters of Pelion in Star Wars Rebels, of course. That makes sense.
He's in the finale. He's in season 3 finale.
So before the character survives, was confirmed in the Mandalorian footage indicated that his opinion Pelion served in the events of Star Wars Rebels finale and expressed hope that others could blah 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 blah. Yeah, then Thrawn in the future. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So, no, Pelion, Andre for Mandalorian folks, you don't care. Just letting you know.
Okay.
There's one moment where Gideon's in like this office meeting and he's surrounded by holograms, Imperial officers. Pelion was one of the people trying to divert resources from Gideon to Thrawn.
Yes.
That's Pelion.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like I said, Yularen, I know he was in the movies. Yularen has been in Rebels. He was there to figure out who the traitor was, who ended up being Agent Callus. He was in, not Ahsoka, he was in Andor. He was the person that the ISB officer reported to. The main chick, you know?
Yeah.
You'll see him. I guess you didn't watch it. I forgot. But you'll see him.
I think it is.
He's not like a huge role. But he's there. And he's got a very firm, like, iconic look and character and voice to him.
Cool.
But moving on from all that. Again, episode 2 is great. Episode 3. 3 was another one that I was kind of on the fence with. Due to not only personal issues, but kind of like, I'm already here in this episode. Like, the episode 3 was like, I already know how this goes, you know? That's when I was like, my story's complete. I have no more questions for her. She took over the town. She fought the New Republic, which I did really like that scene of, like, her turning on the New Republic and, like, the slaughter of the New Republic troops.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know how fucked that sounds, and not to mention the fact that, yes, I thought I recognized the character, the ambassador for the New Republic, only to realize that she was in episode 2 when Morgan arrived in town, when the town was under different leadership. She was one of the other civilians who then became a New Republic ambassador.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, again, that was a really cool moment for her. And, like, just how ruthless she was with it and handling that. Now, I do think there's a lot of really awesome questions coming from, from that episode. Because, you know, now the only filler is from this episode to where does it fit in the Mandalorian series? I actually think this episode happens, like, no more than maybe a week before that Mandalorian episode. The Jedi, which I believe, again, is 2-5. Because right at the end, you know, when the ambassador is like passing off the beacon or like the communication device, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And she passes it off to the guy who will eventually become the new magistrate after she's taken down by Ahsoka and Mando. When that voice communicator turns on, I know there's a lot of speculation. I could not remember the voice associated with it. I'm pretty sure it was, God, I always forget her first name, because I know it's different. Because I want to say Duchess Satine. It's, Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan Kryze. That's her name. She's not even a Satine. It's just her sister.
Bo-Katan.
Yeah, it's Bo-Katan. Or it's, her character, Katie Sackhoff. It sounds like it's her asking, like, hello? Who is this? You need assistance.
Yes.
You know, because I'm sure Bo-Katan probably works with the New Republic in, you know, some capacity. Not a lot. And by her and Ahsoka's relationship, shown in, like, Clone Wars Season 7, I would not be surprised at all, you know, if she got this, she heard Morgan's voice, probably did a little research, and sent the data to Ahsoka, where Ahsoka just went in, you know?
Yeah.
So I really, like, again, where this point got to, like, that was the best. Just, like, making that connection to where it could take place timeline-wise between this and the other series. But it was a fun episode, you know, end of the day.
It was.
The slaughter, the fighting, it was really creative, and you got to see
yeah.
Morgan, like, actually do something.
You got to see a senator? Yeah, a senator, like, get brutally murdered.
The ambassador?
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing. Actually, do you have any more points about this? Because I have something else I want to bring up. Probably it's like the last of it.
No.
Okay, then to kind of round out Morgan's thing, I want to talk about the titles. Okay. Especially where we're going to be transitioning into Barriss, you know, next. The titles for the episode. So you have episode 1, which is General Grievous and everything. You have that one called The Path of Fear. Okay.
The Path of Fear.
Yeah. In which I think that's, like, again, I think some of these titles are actually great. Because The Path of Fear, I think, is just, you know, about how Morgan... like...
The Path of Fear.
Seeing Morgan as a kid... versus, like, seeing her through the entire time, Path of Fear does not strike for me. Like, that doesn't resonate with me. But it should. Because that's the path the mother, the shaman, saw. Where it's like, I now know what path you tread on. You take the path of fear. She's too scared, but she wants to stop everything that's scaring her. So she's fighting everything that's scaring her. So she got onto this path of joining the Empire through the Path of Fear. Episode 2, when she's talking with Thrawn, you know, and joining the Empire, like, legitimately, is the Path of Anger. Mind you, I do not know details for this episode. Otherwise, I'd probably be able to break down a lot more of it. But Path of Anger, that sounds much more like Morgan's character. You know, I don't know if maybe she says something about what the Separatists did. You know, like expressing her anger, her distraught. You know, and that's what kind of brings her in. I don't know. But I just like the, like, theme of these episodes, where it's the path of. You know?
Yeah. It kind of shows her slipping more and more into hate, anger, frustration.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows how she really got the way she was. Because I think first time we ever met her, really, we kind of knew because of what she told us, but not really, like, seen it, you know? But this really kind of gives us that visual of exactly what happened and everything, and
I want to say that when we first met her, I don't think you could tell that it was an Imperial town.
no.
Like, I don't think there's any real key indicator. I think the only time any even gave a damn about her as a character was, one, when she could go toe-to-toe with Ahsoka Tano with a Beskar spear. Like, how did she get that? Which I think we find out here in the series, but I don't honestly remember. I apologize. But, you know, we see her go toe-to-toe with Ahsoka Tano, of all people, in Mandalorian.
Yes.
And then what really draws us to her as a character is just the fact that Ahsoka asks, you know, where's your master? Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? That's when we can make all the connections. That's when we really get depth for this character. And the show sets that up perfectly. Everything up to there.
Perfectly,
but then,
actually.
yeah. Like I said, I think episode 3 ends like with her, like just before that episode of Mandalorian. Like I think this is probably within a week of Mandalorian's episode happening, and it fits just fine.
Perfectly.
And so then it brings us to the third episode, The Path of Hate. Hate is the final one, which I want to say I'm a little loose with the audio, with the words and all for this. Just the action is what really drew me in, for sure. But
Yes.
I knew that she... I know she expressed some kind of resentment
Oh yeah.
in how she ruled, but she didn't want to change it, because if she changed it, then everything wouldn't go well for her in this village. But not that she would change.
I think she generally was trying to do what's best, but she also was holding what she desired more over everything.
Yes.
Like, even though the villagers all were like, yeah, it's all your fault, I think she generally was trying to do what's best for them, but as I said, like, it was more of like...
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
It's kind of displaying in a way.
Yeah, no, it really is, because it's just like, she doesn't like what she has to do, but she's doing it for the better. At least in her eyes, mind you.
Yes.
And so, it's a little weird with this one, because, like, where's the path of hate come from? Is this, like, the path of, like, with anger, I can understand. It's her joining the Empire because she wants more power. It's the anger that drives her, you know?
Yeah.
And with hate, I wonder if that's not more reflective on her, where it's like, the reason that there's this path of hate is because people despise her as the magistrate. Like, she's not doing a good enough job, but it's like, who could do a better one kind of angle.
Yeah.
Mind you, she is a terrible person.
Yes.
I want to defend her. She's terrible. But yeah, no.
But she's not that terrible.
No, she's terrible.
No, she's pretty horrible. But, yeah.
She's a night sister. Fuck 'em. Especially
Oh,
her.
come on. Hey! Hey!
Yeah.
In Jedi Survivor, or the Jedi series of the games, there is a Night Sister who is pretty cool. She was kind of evil at the beginning.
No, you didn't hear me. That's good.
I don't know if I want to hear you. Let me look up her name. I'm gonna have to look up her name now really
It's
fast.
Marin.
Yeah,
Marin.
Marin. Yeah, Marin. So I don't think all of them are bad.
Great. No, I know, Andre. The point I was just making is just like, kill all the Night Sisters,
Oh.
and then I said especially her because she is fine.
It went over my head. Sorry. Okay. Now we're going on to our other the next one about Barris. Barris. Yeah. The first episode was good. I think it was a good setup for the character, because if you guys don't know who Barris is, just kind of a little lowdown. She Jedi Padawan. I don't remember her master. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I can see her face, but I can't remember. Yeah. There you go. I'm glad you know this stuff, because I don't.
I'm a fucking nerd.
Okay, good. But yeah, so pretty much what happened, just a little gist if you guys haven't seen it, or if you guys don't know who she is. So she pretty much blew up the temple, blamed her friend Ahsoka. Ahsoka went on this whole journey where she left and trying to run away and kind of fighting herself.
Mind you, Ahsoka left because she was being hunted for doing crimes she didn't commit.
The only person that believed in her and trusted her was Anakin, her master.
Not entirely true, actually. Because even Barris offered sympathies during that arc.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Well, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
She's the one who caused it, so it's like...
It makes sense.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry, I kind of framed you, but you know.
Hey, so lunch tomorrow, right?
Yes, yes. Same place, in the back of
Same
an alley, so
Yeah.
no one can find us. Good,
We'll
good.
be at the back doors this time.
Yeah, but so pretty much, yeah. So Barris kind of played her part. They finally found out it was Barris who did it, and she was saying how the Jedi are corrupt. They're horrible people. They're not these saviors. They're horrible. Pretty much the how the Emperor pretty much posed Jedi as trying to take over, horrible. We got to wipe them out kind of mentality. So she was thrown in jail. And just Ahsoka was given the chance to come back, but she's like, "Nah, I'm good." Then she kind of left and did her own thing till whatever. But this isn't about her. This is about Barris. So Barris went to jail. What happened was pretty much Order 66 happened. She's like, "Whoa, what's going on, bro?" So pretty much it kicks off right out at Order 66. We kind of see it unfolding. She kind of is given a chance to join the Inquisitors. I don't know who the Jedi is or the Inquisitor technically, that pretty much offered her the choice to become an Inquisitor or pretty much die as a Jedi.
Yeah.
So she was given a chance. Of course, she took it. They go to this. Now the funny thing is they go to this like base that's like out on the ocean. Or I don't know. I'm guessing it's not Coruscant. It's probably a different planet is what I'm assuming.
There it is.
It is?
Yeah. No. Sorry, I was finding something.
Okay.
That watery base.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about. The
Yeah.
Inquisitors.
Yeah,
like,
the
actual
Inquisitor base.
We've seen this before. Through a bunch of stuff.
I'm trying to think. It makes me think of the Imperial cell or
we've seen
gel
it
cell
twice.
from Marvel.
No, we've seen this twice. I know there's a special name for this. I cannot, for the life of me, remember this base.
I can't. Either.
I kind of want to look it up, but my phone's over there. The first time canonically, like the first time we see this base being used, like being referenced, being shown even,
Yeah.
is actually Jedi Fallen Order. This is the watery base that Cal is delivered to at the end of Fallen Order.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is where
he fights the one chick.
He fights Jenda's apprentice.
Yes.
I know it's not Triss, or maybe it is. Maybe it is Triss.
And spoilers, after she kind of fails, Vader
Right.
kicks her ass. I was like, holy shit! I'm like, you better run, Cal. You better run.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
shoot. Yeah.
Vader makes an appearance. Jenda, Seer makes an appearance. And Seer, sinks part of this base, which is great and all. And gives her and Cal time to get the hell out of Dodge.
Oh, yeah.
But, this is, the part of the game where it's like, damn, is Cal gonna end up as an Inquisitor?
And he doesn't, because he's strong in the Force.
Yeah, but again, that's where we actually first saw this base. I know it's been referenced, it's been talked about. I'm pretty sure it might have even been mentioned in Rebels, but I don't think they ever actually showed it.
Okay, so that's pretty cool that they actually showed it in. Well, besides just the game,
In
they
the
showed
game
it.
first, yeah.
And now they showed it in technically animation now. It's cool.
No. Well, okay, yes and no. Because then we actually had another appearance for it, and I'm kind of sad you don't remember it. Because it made a huge, plot hole, or not plot hole. The community was outraged with this episode. Okay? The Kenobi series.
You think I'm gonna remember that series?
Wait, don't get me wrong, that's fair. But this is the base where Leia was taken.
Oh my god.
This is the base where Obi-Wan created a crack in the glass and flooded a hallway, and they walked through an Imperial courtyard. fucking full of troops with this little girl under a jacket and no one batted a fucking eye.
My God.
You know?
Such a horrible
Anyway,
show,
so we saw that face in that series too. Which
yeah.
that's why I know there's a name for it, because they're like, oh god, if they went there, there's no coming back. I know this is supposed to be like the base for Mustafar.
Hey, as long as you have a hood on and you walk normally, no one will ever notice you leaving.
Exactly.
Apparently.
But again, off of that, I know this base is supposed to be like symbolic of Mustafar, Vader's base on Mustafar.
But water.
I know it's not his only base, but yeah, no. This is like the the Inquisitor's base, whereas Mustafar is his base.
Yeah.
Like Vader's base.
This is mod.
Which I love the, symbolism there, where Vader, when he becomes Vader, then creates a stronghold on the planet that created it.
Makes sense. Kind of irony if you think about it.
But then we arrive to this episode, where this is the one that brings up a lot of debate. Because
this is where it loses me. This is where it loses me.
Yeah. Mind you, folks, when we were talking, Morgan's the story arc we liked. Oh god, thought I did something on my end. This is the story we like. Or
Morgan's the one we liked.
Barriss is the one that we were like, really?
Yeah.
Really? That's where you go with this?
But I think it's also, think about it, because with Morgan, she became evil, she stayed evil because of her hatred, which is understandable.
Yeah,
Barriss, she had this hatred, and slowly but surely she then changes, and it's just like, you literally blew up the temple, killed a lot of people, Jedi, and
Try to kill Anakin,
which, let's be honest, that probably would have never worked. But
that never would have worked.
She would have lost.
She lost that fight.
And and now she
pulled a Dooku on her too.
And now she's changing her leaf to be good. Now, as I said, as a person who sees somebody like in the second episode, her still can't remember her name, but pretty much they go on a mission. They're trying to find this Jedi because there's been rumors or information, and pretty much her other Inquisitor, Barriss's other Inquisitor, that pretty much got her into the being an Inquisitor.
Give me a second and I'll figure out the name.
Yeah.
You go on.
Pretty much they go on this mission. They ask these town folk where the Jedi is. Tell us where this Jedi is. Blah blah blah. She shows so much hatred and like horribleness. But Barriss, I get it, kids, like it's hard to like be mean to kids. They're so innocent and everything. And Barriss kind of gets the information from the kid because she asks the kid, it's like, hey, I'm an old person. Where's this Jedi? We're just trying to help. Blah blah blah. The kid's like, okay, I'll show you. Or says he's up in the mountains. She's like, hey, she's up in the mountains. Then her other Inquisitor just starts murders everyone because like they lied to me, and Barriss is like, oh my gosh, and the poor kid's like, what's going on? Or the kid knows what happened, but Barriss was like, I'm not like, she would not let the kid turn around to see what happened, like see the gruesome horribleness, and she even asked like, why'd you do that? There was no point of that, and it's like they lied. It's like they didn't tell us our information, blah blah blah. And as I said, for the Inquisitor, it makes sense. And Barriss, I guess I can kind of see why she was kind of not with it, like murdering tons of people for no reason. But you have to ask yourself, she was literally going to she murdered everyone in the temple. She had a bomb, killed people in the temple. And then says that all the Jedi are liars and blah, 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 blah and stuff. And then now, when it's just a random group of villagers who won't tell them where the Jedi is.
Well, mind you, her problem is with the Jedi, like the order, the belief, like the group.
I know,
not the villagers.
But I feel like the villagers is when she started kind of going, whoa. And then when they got to the Jedi, she was like, whoa, I can't murder him. I cannot help. And then she's like, goodbye, because the Inquisitor, her other Inquisitor, like, I'm pretty sure, like, stabbed him, impaled him with her lightsaber. If I'm thinking correctly. Yeah. Which,
well, I'll explain when we get there.
That makes me more upset too, because.
Hold on.
Okay.
Because trust me, yes, there's definitely a lot to unpack there. By the way, I didn't like listen long enough to see if there was the other name, but as soon as the other Inquisitor walks in, Barriss calls her Lynn. That's where Lynn then says, "I do not go by that name anymore." So, I don't actually know what she goes by, but otherwise, we have a name,
Lynn.
But I do want to back up with this episode
because
I do have some things I want to bring up with the first one, at least.
Go for it.
Because I can think of 3 things. One, I mentioned earlier with the Order 66 how there's this trope where this Jedi survived. Didn't this Jedi survive? This has always been a kind of a plot hole to me with Star Wars and the Inquisitorship. Because, like, with Anakin, even, where it's like, at what point does Anakin bypass the rule of Order 60? At what point do the Inquisitors bypass the rule of Order 66? Like, hell, even, Maul and Ahsoka were not exempt from this rule. Ahsoka being just a generic Force user at this point, and Maul being an ex-apprentice to the Emperor. Mind you, I think that's why Maul was on the list,
Yeah.
But, like, there's so many things here that, like, you can pick apart and be like, damn, we could have gotten Maul as an Inquisitor. We could have gotten Ahsoka as an Inquisitor. But no, it's the execute order. So, why Barriss specifically? I think it has a lot to do with the fact that she did what she did in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still feel like there should have been a little more, aggression towards her recruitment. You can say that there was, because Lynn told Barriss that if you would like to, you should come with me. And if I don't want to, and you just see the clone guards switch off the safety.
Getting ready to light her up if she said no.
They're like, you were going to say no, huh? Click. And, like, I don't know. I feel like there's more there that's like, that offer was not presented to any of the other Jedi. None that we know, anyway.
We don't know, because those other Jedi that were that we don't know they got the same offer.
I guess that's fair, but at the same time, it's just like I think we need more to have that evidence. I feel like we need more of that, of the Inquisitorship, of like it's fleshing out. Like we need to see more of the recruitment process. We've already talked, I think, in the previous episode, even with the fact that all of the Inquisitors that are in the show, in Tales of the Empire, none of them are the ones that we recognize today. Like, none of them are the ones from Rebels, other than the Grand Inquisitor, who is a little confusing at that point, but it's fine. Grand Inquisitor. We don't see any of the Inquisitors from Rebels. We don't see any of the Inquisitors from the Jedi Fallen Order game, even. Or Jedi Survivor, for that matter. So it's a little weird, like, what's this inconsistency?
That makes me feel like a lot of the Inquisitors die. They go through pretty fast.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the Inquisitors we've seen do die.
Makes
the
sense.
only one I even remotely recognize anything else is, I believe his name is the Eighth Brother. He's this kind of scrawny dude with kind of a backwards ball cap, almost helmet. He shows up in the episode of Twilight of the Apprentice, I believe, season 2 finale for Star Wars. When confronting Maul. Yeah, when confronting Maul. He is the third Inquisitor, or fifth Inquisitor introduced into that series.
Oh yeah, I do remember him. Yeah.
And then we actually see him again in the Ahsoka series, where he is a mummified corpse resurrected by Night Sister magic, used to carry out their deeds. You know? So there's also that. But yes. That's it. That's the only character. Mind you, he's even dead then.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. It's just weird. The second thing to bring up with this specific episode. Never mind. I already mentioned the second thing. The third thing to mention with this episode that I really creatively I like, but at the same time I hate it, because it was one of the most interesting shots of the trailer. Okay. Folks, I don't know how familiar you are with Marvel. Marvel loves to lie in their trailers. I think the most famous one is Avengers Infinity War 1. Or Avengers Infinity War. It's Infinity War Part 1.
Yeah.
In that trailer, you see the Hulk charging into battle at the Battle of Wakanda, fighting alongside everyone. That's in the trailer. You get to the movie, there is no Hulk. It's Banner inside the Hulk Buster armor.
Yeah.
And that's only one bit of evidence. Like, there's stuff in Civil War when we don't see Spider-Man, but he's in the running scene where they all run at each other. In this trailer for this show, one of my favorite moments I saw in it, and Andre, you might be able to help me out if you can find the trailer. You see all 4 of the Inquisitors, including Merrick. Merrick is the doctor dude from the Tales of the Jedi series.
Yep.
That Ahsoka tells. You see all 4 of them lined up, and and I believe the thing cuts with Jason Isaacs' character with the Grand Inquisitor, and he says, "Meet your new master," and you just see Darth Vader with the Imperial March, walking into the throne room. Which, mind you, I'm sad there was no reaction between Barriss and Anakin in that moment either. I wish there was some hint of recognition there. But in that scene in the trailer, you see Barriss kneel first. And I thought that was so creative. I thought that was just like the episode is called Devotion, or Devoted is the name of the episode. But I thought that was her, accepting her new life as an... That's where I thought she is entirely on board to becoming an Inquisitor. Okay?
Yeah.
And in the actual episode, you actually notice that wasn't even part of it. Or it was, but they pulled a fake out on us. In the episode, Jason Isaacs says something along those lines, and all of them are on the ground first. So in it, like I said, you see Barriss kneel first, you see one Inquisitor kneel next, you see Merrick kneel third, and you see the Eighth Brother then kneel last.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it shows even Merrick and Eighth Brother aren't nearly as devoted as Barriss is in this moment. But in the episode when it actually plays out, it's Vader recognizing all of them as Inquisitors. He asks them to rise. Not kneel. Rise. So Barriss is actually the last one to rise as an Inquisitor. because it's played in reverse. Which I think that's just so, like, trippy, so weird. Like, why do that? Like, you know, is it to play with us? Again, you know, it sounds like Barris is devoted, but of course, the way that actually plays out, she's not devoted. She turns. She's a turncoat. She's back being a Jedi by the end of the season, or by the end of the series.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, how misleading that is? How sad that is that that's not the same throughout the show and the trailer?
Yeah. But I think it's just also the first episode, how it just sets up. It makes you be like, okay, she's gonna be an Inquisitor, like what you said. I was going in expecting, like, okay, we're gonna find out her story as an Inquisitor. Like, what does she do? Does she die?
Right.
And everything. And no, then she's like, second episode, by the end of it, she's like, yep, I'm a good person now. I'm a Jedi, or I guess, yeah, technically a Jedi, not really.
Damn it, man.
And I'm just like, damn it, dude. Damn it. Why?
Yeah. And that's where I also don't like the theme of titles for this episode. So we start off with devoted. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, Barris is not devoted. She's given herself unto this to live, but she is not devoted. Episode 5, which I'll call episode 2 probably.
For Barris.
Is realization. Which makes sense, obviously. The title says it all, right there. She realizes she fucked up. She realizes that the Jedi is, like, not the bad guy. And I think what really helped in that final moment that you were talking about, Andre.
Yeah.
Because I'll skip ahead to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Barris tried to recruit him. You know, like what I've been talking about, where not every Jedi seems to have even been given this offer to serve like a new order of force wielding. You know?
Yeah.
Barris made the offer, and the kid even like, yeah,
was thinking
you know what?
about it. Yeah.
Why not? And then he was killed out of the pure rage and anger of Lynn. Because he bested her in combat. It keeps like sparking in my mind. I actually think I recognize this from Tales of the Jedi, funny enough. I think Lynn is actually the one who gives Ahsoka her combat trial in that one episode.
Oh.
When she's in that room, and you see like little Kanan Jarrus in there, and he's like, "Oh my God, did you see that? Like, did you see her?" I'm pretty sure Lynn is actually the one in that room orchestrating the training bots.
And see, that's another question. Why was she given the chance to join the Inquisitors?
Well, mind you, let's look at Grand Inquisitor. Grand Inquisitor was a temple guard. That was revealed to us in Star Wars Rebels.
Oh,
when Kanan's in the Jedi Temple with Ahsoka and Ezra, and they all have to do their own trials. Kanan is put into like a training dojo with a temple guardian. You can tell by the outfit. And in this episode, the temple guardian confronts Kanan and says, "You cannot guide him away from." And so the temple guardian goes to play Kanan for failing. Kanan even he looks for another saber to grab, and he has one blue and he has one red, and of course he even admits the irony, like, damn it. Of course, the one saber he grabs off the wall is a red one.
Yes.
And he fights and he wins, and he accepts the fact that no, he's not a good enough teacher, but he's still going to do everything he can. And that's when the Grand Inquisitor takes off his Temple Guard mask, and you realize the Temple Guard, very protector of the Jedi in a way, is one of the people trying to kill the Jedi now. And so I think what I'm trying to say here is I think it's like the instructors that they went for maybe first or gave the opportunity more, you know, because like why go for the student when you can get the teacher?
Yeah.
You know, you have a math problem question, you're not going to ask a student like, hey, how'd you solve this? You're gonna ask the teacher, hey, how do you do this?
I see what you mean.
So I think that's where like Lynn got recruited. I think that's when Grand Inquisitor got recruited. Now, still a lot of questions. You know, all the characters from Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, even like Barriss and the other trainees. You know, like Barriss obviously got recruited probably because of Clone Wars. Well, what did her two counterparts do? I don't remember them from Clone Wars. You know,
I
the
don't.
two kids. But one of them clearly acknowledges, like, I remember what you did. I was there. So I think he was in that episode, and they just recreated the character in series.
Probably.
But, like, I wish we got more. Just more of that.
They seem pretty skilled, so I'm assuming they probably only picked specific kids that were probably skilled or showed potential.
That could be true. I don't know. I don't think Barriss was ever skilled. I just think she was more susceptible to the dark side.
Yeah.
And even, like, Ahsoka, you know, like, Ahsoka's skilled as shit, but nah, terminate her. I think the only reason we didn't get, like, Imagundi, why we didn't get Plo Koon, why we didn't get Ayala Secura, yeah, Kiadi Mundi, you know, all the, like, masters, the Jedi masters.
Yeah.
I think we didn't get them just because they're masters. Like, they're the least likely to leave the order.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like there's so many skilled users that they recruited. Oh, the other one I would bring up was even Riva. Like, why did she get recruited? She was a child at the start of it, you know? How did she go from being a kid in the temple when it happened to being an indoctrinated, like, Jedi killer? Okay, mind you, she's not indoctrinated. That's the worst word to use, because she's just playing a role. She's playing a part. She wants to get to Vader, because she knows who Vader is.
Yeah.
And I think that was another reason I was hoping that Barriss would make some kind of connection. Like, she would realize that that's Anakin. Because even Riva knew who Vader was.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I know, it's all crazy.
Conspiracy theory.
Spiel. Yeah. No, there's a lot there. It's like, you know, I need Disney to explain. Also, I just realized, this episode where realization, or, you know, Barriss protects the one boy, which I like that. Damn it, sorry, folks. I really like the fact that Lynn, of all people, the person who murdered all the villagers, left the kid alive only because he was the only one to tell him the truth.
Yeah.
But this is the shortest episode in all the series. This is 13 minutes. The next shortest is 14, with Path of Hate for Morgan, her finale.
Path of Hate.
But it's just weird to think that this one is the shortest, but the other two are the longest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I actually didn't realize that, huh?
And so is episode 1, The Path of Fear with Grievous. That's also the long, like, you know, it's a 3-way tie.
That makes sense.
But then, yes, you have episode 6. I really liked how the episode started. You know? Honestly, though, I was hoping they were going to introduce someone else.
Yeah.
Someone else instead of Barriss there.
See, that's Yeah, I'll give you that. Like when the episode began, I was
It was
intrigued.
fun. It was fun.
It was really cool. Yeah.
Like, I even would have expected Barris and Lynn to then show up at whoever this is.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think it was going to be Barris herself as the
It
healer.
wasn't gonna be Barris and Lynn, because Lynn got thrown off a cliff, which again, you think she died, but no.
Lynn's driven by rage and hate. What do you expect?
Oh, also, I do want to call out Disney for their thumbnails. Like, I know I love the episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thumbnails are pretty good.
Because a character like Morgan, you know her story. You need her beginning. You already know her end by this point if you're a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
You know, I don't care about her thumbnails. For Barris, where we know nothing about her after Clone Wars, they shouldn't reveal all this info in the pictures. Because if you actually look at Episode 6's thumbnail, it is Lynn.
I'll have to look at that.
Mind you, in Episode 5, she is thrown off of a cliff, seemingly dead. Barris moves on. Episode 6, The Way Out, a shadow from Barris's past catches up with her.
I wonder who that could be.
But then they have Lynn. Like, honestly, I would have given more props to it being one of the other two cadets. You know? Like, the one that walked into the hallway and never was seen again.
Okay, that's fair.
They say the Inquisitor killed him, and there's definitely a bloody pendant on the floor now.
Yeah.
As a memory of him. But, like, it could have been either of those two and kept more suspense than showing me in the preview.
It's Lynn.
It's this woman that already died.
She's alive? Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to her being, Barris being the healer. Andre, I want to ask you this.
Okay.
Because I know you're not as big of a Star Wars guy as I am.
Oh.
And folks, I'm going to ask you even the same.
Oh.
I mean that in the nicest way.
Okay.
I really do. Because I think a lot more of the chains that bind these shows.
Okay, that's understandable. You're the know-how guy. You know a lot.
Andre, at any point in the Clone Wars, because it has to be Clone Wars, it can't be Tales of the Empire at this point.
Okay.
When does Barris heal? What makes you think, even remotely, that she is a healer? Or do you know that she can do the Force Heal move that... Okay, mind you, folks, there's a lot of history of Force healing. In the history of Star Wars, it started in the video games. Well, Andre thinks. I'll say this.
Yes, they are in the video games, yes.
Yeah, no, it started in video games. Like, that's the only place we've ever seen it. Killer's able to do it. I think you can do it in, like, the Jedi Academy games.
Yes,
Again,
yep.
Force healing.
Yep. Really cool.
Then it wasn't introduced until... It was Episode 9 of Star Wars and the Mandalorian Season 1 finale, where first you see Grogu heal Grief Karga. That was the first time we saw Force healing in real time. Like, in animation, in the show, in the movie, whatever. And then, mind you, I think that same week that Grogu heals Grief Karga, we see we see Kylo? Right, Kylo. Kylo heals Rey with Force healing. And then he dies.
Yeah.
Right? Am I remembering that right? When that happens? They don't heal each other in, like, Episode 8? Or do they?
I think they do. I try to block out those.
I know. We talked about that here on the channel.
I think that's what happened.
But anyway, that was the same week. You know, Grogu did it first, and then Rey does it. Or Kylo did it. I don't know. It was something like that. And so that was really cool, you know? Like, they're showing it. So at what point did Barris ever become a healer or known to be a healer? Can you think?
I really cannot think of a time she was a healer at all.
Mind you, I know why she's a healer. I can tell you why she's a healer.
Why?
But being outside of, well, hold on. Like, from your perspective, I would be angry because it's like, this is one of those things, like, you know, it felt like a cheap thing to just give her, you know? It really did. It just felt so out of the blue. The reason I know her to be a healer is because I'm a real nerd.
Okay.
Andre, you might remember a game that I started playing in... I started playing it February of 2015. We even went to Florida, and I was stuck to my phone playing this game. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. In Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, it's like a team builder game where you like unlock shards for characters. You can level them up to level 7 characters. You know, it's like Summoner's War or Raid Shadow Legends or any of these, you know? But this is like the Star Wars universe, so I fell in love with this. And mind you, it's gone down the shitter in my opinion since then. I stopped playing it a few years ago. But in that game, Barris is a healer. She's a support character. Her whole thing is that she is like a tank as a healer. Like, she has a shit ton of health, and her healing ability is she will equalize her health with everyone else's. So, if you have a character who's down to 1% and Barris is all the way at 100%, she will heal the team to mellow out at 50%, because that's the middle for all of them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But that's the only time I could think of in anything for Star Wars that Barris is a healer. It's times like this, folks, I pay to be a nerd. I know, I'm done with my tangent. Go on, Andre.
I'm just... The funny thing is I literally am on Wikipedia over Barris, and there really is nothing.
Yeah,
nothing in here except for those new episodes where she heals.
Yeah. She's got nothing for her to healing.
It doesn't even tell us how she even learned it or anything. She's just like, oh, I can heal, which makes me feel like it's a plot MacGuffin, just like Ray. He's like, I'm going to heal. And I just, oh, God.
That's, Andre, it's like, from your point of view, I'm surprised, like, you know, there's not more people being like, well, how does she know it? Why does she know it? This is something Rey and Grogu and people later down the line, you know, like, as it gets better and better with the Force.
I would understand if she, her race, like, had that ability or something like that. That would make more sense. Maybe that's, like, what they grew up doing or something. I have no idea. That would make more sense.
Maybe.
But yeah. I don't think that's... I'm pretty sure that's not it. She's just like, oh, I can do healing now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just, like, so random and weird. Mind you, again, being a Galaxy of Heroes nerd, she's a healer. She's a support character. Her whole shtick, like, she was #1 of the charts early on, because she was so fucking powerful. You put her in another healer, so you low like 50%, you're goated for the entire match. Mind you, folks, this is in like the first 2 years of gameplay. Other than that, it has gone down. But yeah, no, I just thought that was so weird for her to like be known as the healer and like have all this identity, the healer. Like, there are so many titles and there's so many different things that I hope that, you know, they do. Because I really like the idea of it, you know, character like that. I idolize stuff like that. For instance, a character I love from a game, Javik from Mass Effect 3. He's the last of his kind. He is the signet of vengeance. Like, he is vengeance. I love monikers.
This is
I love them.
Okay,
So for her to just be a healer is odd.
So I did find something about her race. They are the. I'm gonna probably mispronounce this. I apologize. It's
Can't say it. I got you.
Muralans. I'm probably mispronouncing. Okay. So they are near humans. Wait.
No, if you could just send it to me on text, I will.
Yeah, send it to you on text. But yeah, so they are pretty much near human species.
Yep.
So pretty much their biological appearance and kind of like what they're good at is they are very where is it? So they possess enhanced reflexes and were also incredibly flexible and agile traits, which aid them in activities such as lightsaber combat. So their society and culture, what it says for it is that they believe in the spiritual and strong connection with the world around them. So they believe in the Force just naturally. They're not like, I don't know anything about it. So that means they listen to the Force. Yeah, which I guess would make sense technically that maybe she would get that ability with kind of knowing that she they're naturally very close with the Force already. They weren't like, I don't know what this Force is. They already knew what the Force was.
Yeah.
As young people, as like when they were growing up.
Young Force users, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, I want to make a solid point. For this species, Luminara was one of them. Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know how to
pronounce that. So I apologize.
I believe it's like Moralian.
Moralian, probably.
It's something like that.
So I guess like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, so I think we only know 3, maybe 4, but I don't think Lynn is actually one of them. Because I think her hair things are actually part of the skin, like a...
Yeah.
But we actually know of 3 of them. Luminara is one of them.
Yes.
Barris, of course, they're the same species. You can kind of tell that. The third one, we actually talked about this 2 weeks ago on the channel. When we met Jax, the little green boy, trapped with Omega.
Oh yeah.
He's actually one of these guys too.
Okay, cool.
That's just again random fact. Come here, you local nerd. Anyway.
But the funny thing is even this thing on. This is so stupid. Yeah, it literally says with powers and abilities. It never mentions anything about her having force healing. Oh no, she does. It says combat alone, just passed away, force healing, search off she is. Let me look. It actually does. So during her second match, that's like see, this is all from the new.
Oh yeah, Andre,
yeah.
I don't think you're actually gonna find anything because I don't think there was a scene. Because like I said, up until Grogu and Rey do it, you don't see force healing outside of video games.
Yeah.
I'm positive she never did it in Clone Wars. So it's like, why bring this up? And again, Galaxy of Heroes is the only reason I can even remotely be like, yeah, she's the healer.
Plot MacGuffin.
Yeah,
Plot MacGuffin.
Absolutely that. It's just kind of like, you could have done a little better.
Because no offense, I guarantee you that none of the Inquisitors learned how to heal. I guarantee you that. I guarantee they did not teach. It's like, I'm going to teach you guys how to heal.
No, you know, it's funny. I think that's wrong, but I think that's right. And I say that because I'm going to use Sam Witwer as a like reference here. I saw an interview of Sam. He was talking about his character in Force Unleashed. Okay.
Uh-huh. And
he says there's a scene that they recorded like 40 times, and every single time he ended that scene different, as as Starkiller.
Yeah.
It's the part where Starkiller is building his lightsaber. He's like meditating, like he's putting his lightsaber together.
Yes.
It's like using the Force together. He said every time he did that scene, he would exert a different type of emotion after meditating, and like how he built his thing or how he grunted to building it. But he always, when he did the meditation pose, he would grit his teeth. He would like clench his hands, like white knuckles, like. And he explains that, like, to him, knowing only the darkness, this is what he thinks meditating is. So, I think you're wrong. I think the Inquisitors would know how to heal, maybe from their Jedi past, But otherwise, if they're just, like, random Force users, like children indoctrinated into being Imperial slayers,
Yeah.
I feel like that's when you can argue, like, they would know how to cauterize. Like, damn, I'm bleeding. And just sear their skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
damn, my arm's not working. Shank and cut it off. And
I could see Lid doing that.
Later,
Lid would
like,
do that.
I can see those characters doing that because, like, that's much more dark side. To their characters. But again, yeah, you come to someone like Barriss, like, I just don't see heal. I don't. I feel like it was kind of a throwaway.
Yeah, I felt like it was just a plot MacGuffin, which is really sad.
Yeah, and mind you, there's a lot of stuff with this. I don't know what planet they're on. I'm a little scared that it's... wow, Andre, rude.
Sorry?
Gotta silence your phone. Mine's totally unsilenced.
Did I hear it ring? I call it.
Silence
your phone, you said.
Put it back. Don't split it. Don't release my number, you ass.
I'm not gonna release your number.
But I don't know what planet they're on. I think it's called Ilium.
I
or
really don't know.
So mind you, there's a lot of different times we visit location. We mainly visit it in the sequel trilogy, because it's where Starkiller base is. Yeah, it's where Starkiller base is. It's an Arctic planet.
Yeah.
That gets terraformed and changed into exactly what the First Order is. But otherwise, we see it in the First Order, or not in First Order, in Jedi Fallen, the game.
Fallen Order.
We see it in Clone War. We see it in Clone Wars when you have build their lightsabers, because they're in like the ice caverns and they're.
That's where they get the kyber crystals.
Yeah, this whole planet is supposed to be like a base of like, this is where kyber comes from.
Damn, I want to play the Star Wars Force Unleashed now.
So that's where I wonder if that's where Barriss went. If she went to this planet, and that's where she's like settled, because it was supposed to be a secret location that only the Jedi knew.
Yeah.
But that could be exactly why it's a good place for her to hide out and help refugees. No, it's a hidden place, or it's the last place the Empire might look, even though they're at this point. Anyway.
It's how did you feel about Lynn and Barriss, the ending of the episode, I guess, is the next big thing. Because I think
the ice caverns were great. I like she got lost because of her own hatred. I hate how Barriss died.
We don't even know if technically she died, technically.
Okay, hold on. I know. But series
Barriss can heal people, so you're saying she can't heal herself?
No, she can't. That's not how that works.
I don't know. I could do it in the video games.
Andre. There's a very different mindset to that.
But the only reason, to be serious, I don't think she died. Because one is a stupid reason, and two possibly could make sense. One, I think you know the first reason.
No, go ahead.
So, from our beloved, one of our favorite, as I say this sarcastically, favorite TV series is Kenobi series. She gets stabbed by Darth Vader and lives. Wipes it off, just doesn't even matter, which is really insane.
You know, that's very fair. That's a very fair point. I mean, mind you, you cauterized the wound.
Yes, but look at what happened to Qui-Gon.
Yeah, I know. I was about to bring up Qui-Gon, but I was also about to bring up Maul. Maul only lost the fight because he was cleaved in half.
And he fell down a hole.
And he still lived.
Yes.
He lived through like 4 different series, and he got a part in the movie.
Let's be honest.
Solo.
Yeah, Solo. Yeah. Let's be honest though. He was raised on a planet of like hatred and stuff, so he kind of was like hardcore already.
He's a Sith. Sith is very different from Inquisitor, Empire, so on.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, that's what Starkiller is also raised as. He's raised as a Sith.
Yes.
Not an Inquisitor. He's not Imperial. Or he is Imperial, but he's raised like a...
Yes.
Not like the New Age Sith, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
New Age Sith, yeah. Let's just say that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. So, something like that. But yeah, that's the first reason I don't think she's dead. And
it is a great point.
It's a stupid reason. Don't get me. It's a stupid reason. I think it's dumb. The second one that kind of makes more sense is that you got to think about it. Yeah, she got impaled, but Lynn's there too, and Lynn specifically said that she wasn't going to leave her there.
Yeah.
And Lynn kind of just abandons like pretty much being an Inquisitor by like, and that's what I took from it because she just left her lightsaber there. She took Barriss.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming she's still alive, and then I'm guessing Lynn, because we've never heard of her being an Inquisitor or anything really. She pretty much isn't an Inquisitor anymore, which then makes you wonder, it's like, what happened to Barriss? What happened to Lynn? Is Lynn continuing what Barriss is doing? Because they're technically the same race. Can she do the same thing? Who knows? No one knows. And I think that's kind of another thing that kind of sucks is personally that it left it like that, where we don't know. Because like technically, yes, if you think about it, like Barriss is dead. But with how Disney has shown it with stuff like that, it makes me wonder, it's like, is she really dead though? Let's be honest here.
Here's the thing. No, she's probably not. Because this is a character that I was really hoping to make an appearance in the Ahsoka series. Like, Tales of the Empire, I was really, really looking forward to seeing Barriss' story. Because especially with the title like Tales of the Empire, I figured that meant that both characters belong to the Empire. Morgan absolutely does, and Barriss just fucking leaves in her second episode of her 3 episode.
It's like what they did with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, the campaign, where they're like, "Oh, we're going pure Empire." Well, yeah, it was cool, but I did not like.
Awesome.
I did not like that they were like, "We're going pure evil," and I'm like, "Cool, we get to see it from like an Empire's perspective of what they think about it." But then she like flips within just a couple missions, which I did not like.
I liked it for the sake of that, part of the whole reason is you see this imperially, especially.
Yes.
Like, mind you, I can't remember her name.
I can't. Let me look it up. Give me a second.
Iden Versio.
I did Versio, yeah.
I just remember Iden and got the rest.
Yeah.
But Iden, mind you, she's a civilian. She's not a Force user. She's not. She's just not. She's the pilot. Like she isn't.
Inferno Squad.
Mind you, she's not a Force user. She's not like part of the cosmic scale of balance that the Jedi and the Sith are part of. Her moral compass is like just her being a person. So
Yeah.
like I give a lot more sympathy to how she changed when like, you had a mission where hey, how you doing over there? Good to see the market's doing great. See you next week,
Yeah.
And then for your own empire that you work for and everything and all these people you've cherished to protect, you're glassing them. You're getting they were loyal servants. Like, why? Why are you doing that? Like, she has much more reason to have a
Okay, I'll give it that. Yeah.
humane compass, whereas Barris,
Doesn't really have a reason.
you think cosmically she's like the evil because of Clone Wars. Like, she tipped. She's gone.
Yeah.
And for her to just like shift all the way back, shift all the way out of that, go complete reverse. Like you said, she's probably killed people. She's probably murdered people in that bombing, injured, whatever. She destroyed valuable resources. Even tried to stage a coup on her best friend and kill her master. Like, there's so much she did that she could have turned on. Iden realized they fucked up. Iden made the difference coming back. And I know you can argue that, like, Barris went and, made her own sanction.
I guess
Opposing the Empire.
if we're going to ask that question,
resonate with her way more.
what would you say Barris would have had to do? Or what would they have to do to make you believe Barris actually changed? Besides, like, what they did in the second episode, which I agree, it just wasn't enough. It just felt like she was there because she was forced. But there was... Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I actually do like the second episode. I do. I think where it flops, the third episode. Because the entirety of the third episode, to me, is shit. Okay? I wish, if anything, the third episode should've, could've, and would've been better if it ended the moment Barris and Lynn stood across from each other in that open plain. Before Lynn, like, went after the refugee instead. Caves.
Yeah.
I think it should have ended with Barris and her having a standoff. And that's it. Because what I think I'm missing here... I've talked about, like, I wish I had a lot more interaction. I wish I had more explanation. I want to see Barris struggle. Like, we saw Iden go through all of the emotions. All the pain, all the guilt. We saw her cry. We saw her try and kill her own commanding officer, who was her father, I'm sure that correctly.
I think so.
Like, she wanted to kill her own dad because he was such a prick. Just like the Empire. So I think for me to, like, relish in the idea that, like, Barris turning, I wish we had saw what happened right after episode 2. For episode 3, mind you. Like, I wish we saw her strip herself of the armor, bury the Inquisitor saber. I wish we would have saw her, like, try and run away from it all and, like, argue with herself of everything she did. Like, I love that dark, more mental side of conflict. I want to see the turmoil in the person for the character to develop properly.
To justify the complete difference she was.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable.
Not go from A, B.
Completely evil, too. Wow, I'm really good.
Or let me put it this way. A to Z. She went from bad to good. And we never saw the rest of the alphabet.
We don't even know how she even got there, why she's even there, what happened to the guy that she saved. We don't know.
Very true. But again, that's where I think, like, if we saw the turmoil, we saw it, let's say if it's a 20-minute episode, we get like 12 minutes of her turmoil. Just 12. We pick up at episode, or minute 13, and we get the perspective we saw in the beginning of episode 3. Get the guy, like, the healer will see you, Like, I wish we got more of, like, just her story. Did she go to that place? Because, again, maybe that's the home of the Kyber crystals.
We don't know.
Did she go there to defend them? Like, was she there as, like, her own kind of temple guard? We won't know. Mind you, they might put out a book. They might put out a comic. They might have already done something. Just no. Maybe all this characterization completely justified through swarm media that we can't comprehend.
The thing is what I'm afraid of when they're doing this is that they're gonna make books, they're gonna make stuff. It's like, don't worry, guys, we're explaining this in like a book, or we're explaining this in something else. And I don't like that.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like that.
I think it's best to tell the entire, like, the bulk of the story through one media.
Yes.
For sure. And I don't think we got the bulk of it yet.
We just got
3 episodes.
Like what you said, we got like A to like M to like Z of the whole story. And then if you want to know the whole story, you gotta pretty much read this book to get everything in between it to actually make sense. And then you're like, oh, that's why she has it. Instead of just like, I agree. Like, it just feels like they literally are just doing it just for like cash grab stuff. Like, hey, this is how we can make more money. We make this, get people interested, then they'll buy the book.
Which, mind you, again, I've got nothing to that. Like, for instance, like Caleb, for instance. No, I'm not talking about the series, because regardless of how that's going, the series is not the actual Halo story, But the games, they tell an amazing story. They introduce characters, they introduce interactions. Like, Halo 5 being what it is unfortunately not great. Because people don't know those characters. I know those characters because I read the book. I read the books because I have 4 or 5 years between each game. You know what I mean? Like, if I want more Halo outside of the games, I gotta go find that. And they put it out, they're making the next game. But this is what I get in the meantime, you know what I mean? But with Star Wars, we're getting series, we're getting movies, like, every other 4 months, really. I think it's a good way of looking at it.
We're getting books.
We're getting books, like, constantly.
Yeah.
Halo and stuff like that. But the books, like, they tell a good story. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure. But you've got such a massive media for movies. And I know, budgeting, acting, writing, animation, you can't do it all. You really can't.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an unfortunate reality. But where they're putting stuff out constantly, I just wish we got more. Because otherwise, like, the Star Wars movie, we got the sequel trilogy, and we just had Episode 7, Episode 8, Episode 9. We would be fishing for Star Wars content to the going to know, oh, hey, look, here's a book about like,
you're
that'd
kind
be
of
awesome.
cutting out a little bit.
What?
You were kind of cutting out a little about that part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like I said, if we just got Episode 7, Episode 8, and Episode 9, nothing in between that, nothing. No other Star Wars. But then they're going to come out with a book between 7 and 8 that tells kind of Poe Dameron's story as a kid. That's fine. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Introduction. It's more to love about the character. Not, I have to read the book to love the character.
Exactly.
Um,
It's it's where you want
This
to
just
learn
gives me
more about
more
this character. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Like, I can appreciate everything that was in that movie now. Everything that was in the book. Because it looks better because I read the book. You know, maybe I don't know how he got that leather jacket, but that leather jacket's the thing his uncle wore. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I won't know that until I read the book. But otherwise, Poe Dameron looks pretty fucking good in that jacket, man. You know? BB-8, great character. But, you know, I'd love Poe became friends. Like they did. But I hope the movie kind of gives a little explanation. Like, oh yeah, I found him on the salvage droid. Even Rebels did that. Rebels said that with Hera. Hera found Republic era astromech, and we saw a part of that story in Bad Batch. That's media to media coverage. Mind you, that took literal years, almost a decade to pull off. But we still got that. We still got that reflection of media for a backstory.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Anyway, I at the end of the day, I just think there's a lot of stuff we could have done. And by the way, we are running.
Yeah, we are running a little over. So, I think we both agree that Barriss' story for the Tales of the Empire just didn't really work. For what it was. Now, I think it would have been cool to do kind of like if it was in its own little another like series or its own little like short or whatever you want to call it, because it's only like 3 episodes, they're only 15 minutes, so like a little series or whatever. That would have been cooler. Maybe Barriss got her own series or something. It would have been better. It just doesn't fit the whole Tales of the Empire. Like Morgan's made sense. It fit it very well. We've seen her just turn more and more dark, more and more evil, more and more hate, which made sense. But Barriss, it is kind of like a whole hate 180.
I think.
Bada boom.
I think, all in all, Barriss would have had a better story if she stuck with the Empire.
Yes.
Because it would have piqued a lot more interest from the stuff up to happen. You know? Like, oh shit, that Inquisitor that died in Rebel.
That was Barriss? Whoa!
Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, oh, so the one that Cal killed in Fallen Order? Cool! You know?
Awesome!
There's a lot of cool stuff they could have done there, but they didn't. They left it open-ended on the opposite side of the spectrum. And now we're like, great, we have another good person.
We have now 2 Jedi.
Like, I would love if in Heir to the Empire, Thrawn had an Inquisitor bodyguard and revealed to be Barriss, and you have Barriss in a like conflict in person again. I think the only good takeaway from that episode was she talked to the hedgehog. Yeah. Or porcupine or whatever.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look back at the details, but
Details.
She said, "Go find a friend. She'll know what it means."
Okay. And I'm assuming that's Ahsoka.
I'm assuming that is Ahsoka, which I think is cool. You know, I think that's a really cool perspective to put on. That she reached out to Ahsoka, but I want to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see what Ahsoka thinks of Barriss turning. Like, I think Ahsoka is the forgiving sort.
Especially with everything that's kind of happened to her and everything, I think she would have.
Especially to her.
Yes.
I think she would have been like, "I'm so glad you saw the light, my." You know. But at the same time, I could see Ahsoka like getting that glint of yellow in her eyes, like, "You bitch." But then hugging her.
I think she would be forgiving with everything that's happened to her, especially with like Commander Rex and her and murdering. Like, everything that's happened to her with Order 66 and everything after that, just, like...
Yeah.
Even, like, reading her book, the Ahsoka book, which was actually really interesting.
Which I know Tales of the Empire kind of retconned some of that, too, which is weird. I guess there was something there where they it came into conflict.
Oh,
Like
really?
it doesn't. Yeah, there's
Oh,
something
shit.
about like the timeline apparently made like no sense.
Oh, that's interesting, huh? I know they showed it in
Yeah,
Tales of the
yeah.
Jedi, kind of what happened in the book, actually.
But there was something there that didn't happen, or no, that did happen, that the show either didn't cover, or maybe it's the other way around. That didn't happen in the book, but the show shows it happen.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think at the end of the day, they boiled it down to that was something that Ahsoka was expressing her memory of,
Probably.
and so it wasn't in the book, but that's why we see it in the show because it was.
Okay.
I think that was the argument that was made. I think it was. I don't know. I'd have to like actually look back at it and maybe we'll talk about it
Yeah.
another time.
Yeah.
But again, it would have been great to see Barriss and Ahsoka talk again. It would have been great to see Ahsoka fight Ahsoka, or Barriss fight Ahsoka again as an Inquisitor. Like,
Now
we need more either.
The question is, though, we don't even know, like, technically how many years after, the Empire kind of Order 66 and everything happened. We don't know how old Barriss is now and where Ahsoka would have been at the point, because she could have been with her crew from Rebels at that time.
I don't think that.
Maybe?
I think you're. I think you're a little late there. Because mind you, for instance, Ezra, I believe, is 5 years older. Okay, so where like Ezra's be like 17, he's kind of a kid.
Yeah.
In that regard, Luke is still only like, and so like even if the whole thing with late in the Empire ending Rebels late, Luke still has another like 9-10 years to go before he does A New Hope. So I really want to say with Barriss, it might be a little closer to the end of Rebels with that.
Okay.
But mind you, the very, very end of Rebels was like a time jump. Like that was after the war ended. That was after all the movies. It was probably another 10 years when we see Ahsoka leaving with,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think there's still a lot there. So when it comes to timeline, I don't think A New Hope would have even happened. Like it had to be before A New Hope.
Okay.
And another funny thing, another fun plot send to the audience with for our final farewell.
What?
Can we just acknowledge how random the Inquisitors are? Like as cool and as badass and were showed up in Rebel presence they've made and only to not be in A New Hope or any of that.
Yeah.
Like how bad did the Inquisitors have to fail for them to not even be in the final chapters of the Empire?
So that means the Inquisitors failed before.
The Inquisitors failed hardcore.
Damn.
So, folks, I'm going to leave you with that. It's 7 o'clock. I think we are ready to sign up.
Yeah, we are. So, I guess, what would you give the Tales of the Empire? Or you want to do both stories?
Let's do individual stories.
Okay. Morgan's. Let's start with Morgan's.
I'm going to be a little harsh. I'm going to say 8.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 8. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's a backstory on her, like the town.
Actually, I'm going to a 9.
Okay, I'm gonna still stay at 8. Yeah,
it told her story very well.
Very well, and it was you saw the progression of what happened to her, which was really good.
We obviously don't need to see her as a kid. We don't.
But
we saw her from the height of the death age of death to exactly when we met her for the first time in Mandalorian. Like we saw that whole timeline. And we got answers for why she's so interested in the Ahsoka series with Thrawn.
Yes.
Like, we got all that in 3 episodes. That's pretty remarkable.
And they brought Pelion from the books to
they
the
even
screen.
gave a little lore credit. And we got Rook again, so that's fun.
Yes. Okay, let's go on to Barriss Offee. I'm going to give it a 3.
See, I was going to say a 4.
I'm
because
a little harsh on it.
I think 1 and 2. Actually, I'll give it a 5. I will give it a 5, and that's only because I do like episode 1, even though there's stuff I have some conflict with, and that's why it's getting like a -2 points. But then episode 2, I actually really like. But it's episode 3 that absolutely fails me. I feel like she either could have stuck with the Empire. I feel like she could have, done certain things differently. Like, hell, she could have killed Lynn and just led by a better example as an...
Yeah.
She could have been like, we are not the dark side. We purge the Jedi. Simple as that.
Yeah. So...
Like, she could have even led by a new example. So I'm giving it a 5. Because it didn't carry.
Barriss Offee for me, I'll change it. I was going to say 3 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. It's a good... I liked the first episode. It was good. The second episode, I understood kind of why she was changing and everything. The third episode did confuse me a lot. It will confuse me as like, wow, we did like a big time jump. We don't know what happened to that guy that she saved. We don't know why she's there, how she became this healer, or whatever. And I feel like this series, or her story, would have been better off in its own little series. I think that would have been so much better. Maybe they would have actually had more time to develop this character.
6 episodes, that would have been great.
That would have been better. They probably could have.
For her.
Yeah. We would have had.
With like Ventress. Ventress could easily get her own too.
Maybe that's the reason why it was so bad. They're like, you only got 3 episodes.
See, also that's very true, and that's something we could have talked about. But oh well. It could have also been fun to see Barriss versus Ventress. Good gone evil, evil gone good.
It was cool to see Barriss meet Ahsoka. Instead of us hearing that she probably did that, her friend is Ahsoka, we can just assume, but it would have been cool if we actually got to see them meet because there is a lot of tension between them from the past.
I think we got to see what happened to the dude she killed.
Yeah,
because,
we don't. He's like, I'm not going to leave you, and that's it. I'm not going to let you die. Or is it like, I'm not going to let you die, I think is what she said.
Oh, no. Oh, that's not who I'm talking about. I thought you were talking about the random refugee, like, can you heal her? Can you heal my wife?
Oh!
I thought you were talking about them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Jedi.
We don't need to care about them, man.
Yeah, we do. He's a Jedi that could be running around out there. Who is he? What's his story?
No. He's some nobody who his wife was probably having cramp.
But yeah,
oh, that's it. She doesn't have fucking force healing. She just gave her like a heated pillow and go.
Gave her some herbs and stuff,
Oh God.
It's like, there you go. This will make you feel better in a minute. You'll be great.
Okay, folks. With that, I think we really do need to head out.
Yes, This has been a long one, longer than usual. So
by 5 minutes.
Yeah. So the big thing is I guess since we are at a standstill with no more like really new episodes coming out until Acolyte, which comes out in June, we're gonna talk about other Star Wars stuff. We could probably talk about. We will
figure that out for next week.
Yes, so it'll be a surprise week. So you don't know what you're going to be seeing. Probably maybe about games, could be about other series, could be just about like characters. Who knows?
Gaming is very likely.
Probably gaming, to be honest. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Anyway, have a good night, everyone.
You
Bye-bye.
too.